What is going on, familia? Here's a quick video for today's message and for Veterans Day.
Hi everybody, my name is Azaz. I am a Georgia Gwinnett College alumnus as well as an Air Force veteran, and I am here to tell you about the annual Veterans Day brunch that Georgia Gwinnett College has every year. We are looking for volunteers to come plant flags across the campus in Lawrenceville, Georgia at Tuesday, November 11th, 10 a.m. If you are interested, please use the contact information in the comments below, and we look forward to having you.
So, if you live, first of all, shout out to Aza. Thank you for providing the information. So, if you're around the Atlanta area, the Georgia area, or the Gwinnett area, if you like to volunteer with former veterans, if you like to be part, if you're a veteran and you like to have that breakfast, it will be on Tuesday. Breakfast or lunch. It will be on that Tuesday, Veterans Day, Tuesday 11th, from I think 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. So if you'd like to be part of that, if you'd like to support that in any way, we're just spreading awareness. I went to GGC, and I served in not the military, but I served in the ROTC academy that they have at GGC, and it's really cool, man. I feel like from my understanding, they're kind of losing a little bit of support, and I feel like we should always respect and show love to the veterans who've paved the way for us. So if you by any chance want to support, you still have time. It's the information provided on the screen. If not, I can provide that also on the description of the video. So if you have any questions, let me know. But it'll be great to see you guys there. So thank you guys. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome back into another episode of the Carlos Granados podcast. Today's episode, we're going to give a lot of updates. We're going to talk. We're going to have a professional yap session. You know what I mean? By the way, when it comes to my podcast, I don't know who's been listening a lot to my podcast, but I appreciate you guys. Buzzsprout sends me a notification every week saying that like this certain amount of people have been listening to my podcast, and I haven't released a podcast in about 2 weeks or so, going into 3 weeks. I know I've been slacking. I'll tell you guys why, but I think I had an email that said 67 people listen to my podcast, and this is in all the audio platforms, right? So this is only audio. This is not including the YouTube channel and of course the rest of social media. And I'm like, wow. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm flattered. So thank you guys for supporting, listening to my channel, listening to my story, my life. I'm hoping that I bring and continue to bring really good content. So thank you guys for listening to my podcast on all the audio platforms, and of course listening on the YouTube channel. Right? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell your friends, tell your family about the Carlos Granados podcast. Which it's I always say this: it's growing slowly, steadily, but it's good. It's a good community that I've built and that I have here. So all the glory to God. Let's start with a couple of things. So I'm still furloughed from my job. So recently, yesterday, I think we broke the record for the longest government shutdown. If you're new to my channel, or you new listening to me, you know that I've worked for the federal government for the past 5 years, and we're still in a shutdown. And there was a record broken. I think it's 36 days, if I'm not mistaken, that we've been in a federal government shutdown. All I know is it's been broken. The record has been broken for the longest federal government shutdown. So it's been a ride. It's been a ride for sure. At the beginning, I really thought that it was gonna last less, right? But it continued to last long. I wouldn't be surprised if this continues into mid-November and even pushing it to end of November. Again, whatever your belief system is in politics, I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the process, and you got to just concentrate on yourself and seeing how you're gonna roll with the punches. To be honest, I'll tell you what though, it does suck not getting paid for about 5 weeks. We're supposed to get a lump sum of money after the government shutdown ends, and then we go back to the office. I haven't experienced this before, so a government shutdown, so I don't know how that works. I don't know if I will get the lump sum of money when the next paycheck hits, or if that comes as soon as we go back, right? They approve the funding, they approve the money, and then a couple days later we receive the lump sum of money that we should have gotten paid, right? I don't know how that works, but it will be interesting to experience and see, and then maybe I can give you guys some some tips and all that good stuff. It's been 30 something days. So it's been about two paychecks that we've missed, and we're going into the third um these upcoming 2 weeks. So, it's a lot of money that's not hitting. So I feel bad, to be honest, for the federal government employee who does have a family, um has kids, responsibilities, bills. Money flies away really quickly, and it's always important to have some type of savings for sure. I'm a single man, and my biggest expense is my car. It's not a family. So I think in that sense, it does affect me, but at the same time, not as much as it would, like, a single father, a single mother, or a household in general. It affects me a little bit less for sure. And if I were to need to get rid of the car, I can. So it's not like you can get rid of a family. You know what I mean? So I haven't stressed about it too much. If anything, I've been enjoying my time. I've gotten into learning a hard song on the piano. As you guys know, the YouTube channel is my hobby. My podcast is my hobby. Also, my piano is a hobby for me, right? I think it's healthy to have hobbies. Um, if your life, I feel like if you can have hobbies in your life and kind of try new things, I think that's healthy, man. I feel like learning and challenging yourself. I feel like you can grow as a person, right? So at this moment with the government shutdown, the piano has been my thing. I've been learning this really tough song that I will probably end up uploading in a short in a short um or a regular video. I don't know yet. But it's really, really tough. It's really hard. I wish I would have gotten into music earlier in my life. And I've said this before. Maybe played a little bit less sports and gotten less injured, and then maybe learn, more music and piano. I think it would have been an awesome thing. But it's never too late. Here we are. We're learning. It's tough. It's hard. And, I think it's a learning process. It's a journey. When you remind yourself that it's a journey, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, that you can be a little bit more graceful with yourself with the process of learning. So that's what I've been doing right now. And I just been in my word as much as I can, Bible study, um, trying to just sit back and appreciate and embrace. I said this before. The moment that I got let go from the federal government that one time, and then rehired literally several weeks ago, actually, I was like, man, I do get paid pretty well. I do have a really good job. Like that hits you. So I was thankful, and I remember just being thankful to the Lord, like, hey, thank you, for allowing me to have this job that I can live comfortable with, and also just being grateful for what He has given me. Sometimes you need a reminder to remind yourself, like, hey, be grateful for what you have, whether that's a physical thing that God has given you, or family, just the little things. I thank God for allowing me to be able to enjoy the piano, to be a podcaster, to be a content creator, and all of those things. It's just it's a blessing. You have to just embrace it and just thank Him for having the ability to, because it is a blessing, and sometimes it can be a gift, which I am very grateful for. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you, because I've worked so hard. If you guys knew the story of how much and how much effort it took me to get the big boy job. When you go to college, you're always working for that. You want to get the big boy job. Well, for me, it took me a lot of effort and a lot of things working out right and not so much. But we got here, and the fact that we got here and I was able to grow within the federal government. Man, it was a journey, and then embracing that and remembering, like, hey, remember, this is what you asked for. One, like, when you were in college, you asked for this opportunity, you asked for these moments where, your the fruits of your labor were going to pay off in the future. And I'm like, all right, let me sit back and actually just embrace that. Let me thank the Lord for having those opportunities and for putting me in a really good situation. And those moments that I've had, I've been meeting with friends, actually spending some time with friends. So that's all I can do. Could I look for another job in between? Maybe could I do some Uber, things of that nature? Sure. But at the moment, I'm just giving myself some time. I've worked so hard for the last 5, 6 years and grown in within the CDC and the federal government that sometimes it's good to relax. It's good to rewire your brain, rest. Sometimes this is how bad it's been. By the way, you remember when you were in high school and you were during the summer and you forgot what day it was because you don't have many responsibilities, so you just go to sleep and you just late and then wake up late. That's what I've been on. It's literally what the energy that I've been on. I've been going to sleep and I'm like, what day is today? I thought it was Friday. Oh no, it's Thursday. Dang. But it's sometimes letting yourself go. It's cool, man. It's good. You just a lot of stress, especially myself, that I deal with health issues, and my health issues are another situationship that I have going on every day. By the way, sometimes it's just letting go of a lot of things at the moment. Just feels all right. Letting your mind rest and your physical body rest, I thought was very important. So yeah, those are the wavelength that I've been on with all of this. We hope to come back soon. Obviously, I can't wait till I receive a big deposit when we go back. I'm excited to see that. I know that's gonna feel good. That's gonna hit different. Also, I learned recently what 6-7 was, which, by the way, you guys don't want to know. I don't even know why it's a big deal, but it is what it is. That's what the cards were dealt with. 6-7, all the kids 6-7, and then they're balancing their hands for whatever reason, like they're juggling balls or something. I don't know. But I finally learned what it was this past week, and I'm telling you, I'm disappointed as to why that even is a thing. Maybe if it had some substance, like, I get it, but I was like, what? That made no sense. That's how out of touch I am, I guess, at the moment. And talking about being out of touch, transitioning into some things. Um, with all this time that I've had on my hand, I feel like I've been concentrating a lot on myself. Felt like I've been giving myself some time. I still interact and do things, but like, I feel like when it comes to even social media, I'm just doing me. You know, Sometimes you check on your friends, see what they're doing and stuff like that, their stories, their posts. But I've been on my just stay away from as much as I like. I'll post things. If people see them, that's cool. If people react to them, that's fine. But I feel like on my end, I just staying away from looking at too many stories, looking at too many posts. I just kind of pouring it into myself. Um, and I wanted to add that I forgot, but yeah, just pouring into myself. I think it's important to make sure that you're good first before you pour into others. And at some point, I feel like I was doing, that I was doing the pouring and not a lot of pouring into me, and I just had to like kind of retract that a little bit. Just take a step back and just pour into yourself. Let others pour into you, because I feel like that's also healthy. And as Christians, we need community. We need people to pour into you, whether it's family or friends. Whatever you feel like it's best. Even reading the word, that's pouring into yourself. Reading the word of life. It's beautiful. Oh, talking about the word, I went finally to the Bible recap event. So I've talked about this before, where Tara Lee Cabo, who was the creator of the Bible recap, she does this plan, a yearly plan, where you read scripture chronologically, and you read certain chapters, and within 1 year, you get to read the whole Bible. So for people who haven't read the whole Bible, you can in 1 year, if you're willing to put efforts in reading, sometimes 2-3 chapters a day, sometimes more, sometimes less, sometimes it's one. But regardless, she has set it up to where you can read the Bible in 1 year, and I've always wanted to do that. Now, sometimes you slack, but you can listen to the podcast, and she explains, what happened, the meaning behind the scripture that day, which is very useful. It's very important. I feel like to have that. So, um, I went to the event. She came to Atlanta, and I went with a friend. Actually, the friend that helped me get saved. So Sarah, shout out to Sarah. I went with her, and I ended up taking a picture. I might just add that to the YouTube channel, actually. To the YouTube channel. That would be pretty cool. Um, all right. So it was fun. That was a good time. And I'm catching myself that I've been going to a lot of different events, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But the reason I even mentioned the trip that I went to, to the Bible recap, is because I actually bought the Bible that has everything in chronological order. So instead of you going to the Bible and reading what chapters you're supposed to read that day, you can literally just open the Bible and it'll be there. Like, this is day 200 and something. Right now, at the moment, we're like in day 300 and some change. So we're close to getting there, because the end of the year is coming soon. So there's only about a month and some change left before it ends. I thought it was really cool, and I'm planning on doing it. I think probably um, for the next several years, just to always learn something new from the Bible. Because sometimes when I don't read it, I can also listen to it. May not be the same, but definitely you still grasp a lot of things, and that still counts. Listening to, even if it's the audio version of things, right? Which is pretty cool. So I've been attending a lot of different things too, just like that. So for example, the going to the Bible recap, that was an event. Then yesterday I went with my cousin. She invited me to go to like this serial killer event. I like true crime. Um and this doctor, criminologist, or I think he's a PhD, he has a PhD in criminology, if I'm not mistaken, but I think he may or may not be um a psychologist, but he's talked to different serial killers. So like the son of Sam, the BTK killer. He studied also other killers, right? The Rhode Island serial killer that was, still in trial at the moment, that started in like 2010 or something. Like, he helped the FBI, and he gave a description to like what he believed the serial killer will look like. And to be honest, he hit on everything, which is crazy, right? I forgot his name, to be honest, but I'm going to put all the information down below if you want to check his website, or he has a book as well, and his Instagram. I'm thinking about reaching out to him so he can be on my podcast, and I've actually been doing that pretty much to certain people. But I'm thinking about adding that to my podcast. That's another thing that I'm gonna touch in a little bit. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So I went to the event, and the event was pretty cool. He got into the four types, at least at that event, four types of serial killers. The different types of serial killers and how they go about certain things, which is really interesting. Studying the mind, how these people think. Obviously, like it's impossible to get into their headspace, but psychologists and doctors and people like him, they get close. They get pretty close, and I can only imagine what they go through. I think they have to learn to separate themselves. And he mentioned something along those lines last time, where he had to remind himself to like separate and build that wall, because this is their reality but not his, which is so important. And it was really cool learning more about the mind, and what causes a serial killer to do um what they do. He did say that serial killers are not born serial killers. So to answer your question, I want to say I always had that question. I think I was leaning towards that side, but I'm like, can a serial killer be born? And according to him, no. The answer is no. So, but obviously, do your research and see what's you believe. So I went to that. Another event. I went to a basketball game. I went to the Hawks game and I saw the MVP of the league, SGA. So I saw the Thunder against the Hawks, and we got clapped. By the way, we had no chance, but it was a good time. And I've been doing little things like that. I've been serving with my cousin, who I'll mention again in a little bit. With my cousin, we've had we went to I went to an event, to help her essentially volunteer at her job. And I wanted to just, show out for the community and stuff like that. So because I've had all this free time, I'm like, I've been doing just a lot of, little things that I enjoy. And I like that. I want to do more of that. I want to go to comedy shows. I want to go to more concerts. I went to a concert. I went to this Latin rapper. His name is Eladio Carrion. Several months ago, about a couple months ago, and I had a great time. Even though with my health issues, sometimes it's not the easiest thing, if I'm being honest, but it was a good time, and I enjoyed going. And then doing things like that, just doing things that vary, that you just you can just make time for, that you're interested in. It's more for like my mind's sake, just for my sake. It's good to go enjoy and go out. I'm a homebody and I can be if I want to, but I can also go out. I can do both. I'm just comfortable with both. It's just that sometimes doing too much of one can be a little bit overwhelming, right? So you got to just mix it up sometimes. But I find ways, and I think right now that's one of the ways where I'm just like, going out and enjoying the little things, going out with friends. And because I'm enjoying different types of things and different type of settings and events, you go with different people because different people have different likes and different things that they're into. So you bond with your different friends in that situation. And I'm just like, oh, this is cool. Like it's a good time. So I'm gonna continue. I want that to be like a thing for me, where I enjoy going to smaller events or things that I enjoy or I find intriguing. I just want to get more into those things like that. Let me know what you guys are into in the comment section. Like, what do you guys enjoy to do on your free time? Maybe events that I should try, especially here in Georgia. Let me know. I'll be cool. I'm planning on going back to surf at church soon. I had to stop for a while because, again, my health issues. But I want to definitely make sure that I go back and hopefully do that one day. But for the meantime, just doing that with my life. We'll see, where the government decides to go and see how long we are. I wouldn't be surprised if we make it till December, if I'm being honest. But yeah. But anyways, I wanted to touch on the fact that listen, let me know what you guys think, right? I'm gonna open up to you guys. So podcasting. I don't think, and I know I'm not the greatest podcaster. I know that. Like I try to share a lot of life stories, and I think that's where the meaning behind my podcast comes. There is this substance that comes with my podcast because I talk about life, real things that matter, right? Spiritual health, physical health, mental health, all the above, right? Man, woman, kids, you name it. So the reason why I don't do this more is because I have other things that I do in life. This isn't my priority, right? This is a hobby. It's still a hobby and I'm doing okay with it, but I haven't put in my full effort into social media, into content creation. But what I've been planning on doing is first continue to react maybe to shows that I enjoy a little bit more and just let people in on my life. The shows that I enjoy, movies that I enjoy that I haven't seen and things of that nature. But on top of that, I think the most important thing, I want to reach out to people of like documentaries that I watch or have seen and bring them to my podcast, right? Whether it's virtual and if you can do it in person, that would be awesome. But if it's virtual, that's fine. So I reached out to several people. Like I just mentioned, I was in true crime, right? Well, my cousin, she's also into true crime, and I wanted to start reaching out to people of like from documentaries on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, and reached out to certain whether they were cops or FBI agents, and just ask them and have them on and ask them questions along those lines, right? I want to just bring them on and just talk about their experiences, how they caught these serial killers, these mass murderers, and things like that. It's so intriguing. And that's something that I feel like I watch anyways already. But imagine now reaching out to the people and having them on my channel and then ask them questions that you guys have or I may have. I think it's great. Now, the reason I don't do that too much is because there's a lot of reaching out I have to do. A lot of the effort is bigger, right? The effort to try to host and bring somebody on, especially, if you've been a Netflix documentary, you're probably getting a lot of requests for you to be on podcasts, on different shows and documentaries, you name it, the radio, whatever. So it's harder to get a hold of them. Sometimes even trying to get a hold of, through their socials, it's hard. You gotta find if they find socials first, right? And then you gotta come in and be like, hey, listen, so I found you and I'm intruding your space, but would you like to be on my podcast? Doing that a lot is not the easiest. Plus, with my channel, I can't just be reaching out to like the top dogs. I mean, you can shoot your shot, to be honest, but some of them even ask you in the request page, how many viewers have you gotten, or like what's your subscriber, what's your following, to see if they're even intrigued for you to coming into my channel. So my plan is to shoot my shot, see what happens, and then create good content for you guys and something that I really enjoy. And that's just one example that I'm telling you guys. So one example that I feel like would be very, very intriguing. Does that make sense? Like something that would kind of expand a little bit more on just, getting away from like my life with my health issues, but also letting you guys into what I like and what I enjoy. And I think this is one of them, right? So I will try to shoot my shot and see how that goes. I can't tell you if I'm bringing anybody on, but I'm hoping to, because I feel like, it's that effect when you start bringing, a few people in, then more people will check out your channel and more people will want to be on and be intrigued by it. Right now with 5,000 subscribers, hey, it's not, it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not the craziest thing. But I feel like if I had 10,000, it would have been like a little bit more easy. And plus, remember, my podcast, for example, it wasn't even my main thing. My YouTube channel, my health journey, and just videos like that of my life is what the channel was built on. So my podcast is like another side that some people still don't even know I have. So it's where the area that I still need to grow in. But the fact that I can post it on my YouTube channel, is very convenient, and then more people know that now. Like I'm a podcaster, right? I was gonna say influencer. No. I'm a content creator. So I'm a content creator, and I think that's where like I need to catch some traction so we can start taking off slowly, because that is where I want to go with things with my channel. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on what you guys think, because some people are not the hardest to find, it's just the hardest to communicate. And it's not the easiest to have on. And then that constant reaching out, sometimes, you either run out of patience or time, right? Again, it's not my full-time job. If this is my full-time job, I will have no problem. I would just be shooting my shot left and right, following up, making a whole game plan. But because it's not, I take it a little bit slower. The process may be slower, and have a full-time job. So I got to take care of that first. Well, even though at the moment it's not the case, but yeah. So let me know what you guys think. What ideas, maybe who I will need to reach out to, because different people have a different process. Some people are more cool with just you reaching out to them and just they'll be glad to be on. And I've gotten other responses where like, fill this sheet, then we'll review it, and if we like it, then we'll get on, which is fair. It's fair. I don't blame them. But it's just like a process on my end that I still have to do, and it's just like, dang. Like it's more work than what I already do, right? If you think about it, the full-time job, content creation, then learning the piano, it takes a lot of my time too, and then doing the other extracurricular curricular things that I already enjoy to do. Mixing all that can be a little overwhelming. That's why I don't try to push the most. I will have to put more effort and more emphasis on this. And I think I might do that because I feel like there is a space for me. I feel like I'm not the best interviewer, but I know I can have conversations with people. Like I know I can talk to people on a real level, on a level of like um vulnerability. And I'm good at that. And that is what I'm comfortable at. And that's where I want to meet people and hopefully they meet me there. I don't just want to interview them. Of course, I can have questions. And naturally, because I'm interested in the topics or the people that I want to have on, I know that I will have questions. That's just who I am. People, when I even have them on my channel, they're like, what are we going to talk about? I tell them we're going to discuss 3 topics and I will ask the questions afterwards. They're not written down. They're questions that that I have because of what they've said, the information they've provided. And I naturally have questions and I ask them. And it's just a natural flow of conversation. And I think that's what I take more pride in because it's more natural, it's more real. It's not just for the clickbait or, the likes. It's actually real conversations with 2 human beings. And I love that. That is a concept. And that's how the concept that I have for my channel. Right. And that's what I want to continue to have. So hopefully I have more of that, not just the people that I host on my channel, but also the people that I want to bring on. So I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna start doing that, and hopefully I can bring people that maybe we have certain likes and certain things that we enjoy together, and maybe I bring somebody on that you learn from. I think it would be great. I think it would be so awesome, and I think a lot of people will enjoy that. So don't forget, guys, to if you are in the Georgia area, right? If you are in the area of Gwinnett, to go support at Georgia Gwinnett College if you can. If you want to, volunteer with the veterans and stuff. And if you're a veteran, of course, attend GGC, Georgia Gwinnett College. It's in North. So if you're in the Atlanta area, the Georgia area, Gwinnett area, feel free and go support if you can, and plant those flags, and also if you want to support and volunteer in any way, you can do that. So, happy Veterans Day. Appreciate everyone. If you're listening to this and you have served, thank you for what you do, regardless of your, government affiliations or political affiliations or whatever you believe in. I appreciate you for what you do. Thank you for serving our country. Thank you for sacrificing, because it's always a sacrifice. And the sacrifice doesn't always, have to mean, death or anything like that. It's just the work that you've put in to make sure that, we keep our country safe. So, thank you for what you do. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you guys for listening. That's all I have for you guys today. But thank you for your love. Thank you for subscribing and liking my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, you can watch this video in 4K, of course. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions or anything you liked about the video. But I'm planning on I think taking the podcast into the next level. So we'll see if we can, what we plan, right? We'll see if we can work something out. But I'm gonna keep on shooting my shot, and then when I start bringing people on, hopefully that gives me more credibility and take off. So remember to be safe, take care of yourself, take care of each other. And as always, guys, thank you guys for the love. See you guys on the next one. Peace and love, familia. Deuce.